Notre Dame, you were just kind of fatigued, kind of feeling under the weather in that game. Is that something you knew going into that game?
Yeah, and I mean we've had some sickness here for about a week, kind of going through several members of our team, but that doesn't matter. I mean it's something you have to deal with, and trying to make our players understand that you can't work on just the days you feel good. You got to work every day, and you got to compete. And I thought we played pretty well in the Notre Dame game, especially offensively. I thought our numbers were good. I thought our shot selection was good. The problem is our defense in the second half wasn't very good, and a lot of that's Notre Dame. Notre Dame makes you pay for defensive mistakes, and when they shoot up with 10 threes like that to go along with their great point guard and good inside play, they're hard to guard.
Are you seeing, after the Georgia game, you said some upperclassmen stepped up and kind of tried to lead the team. After the last 4 games, are you seeing some guys kind of try to do that again, especially with the stretch run coming?
Yeah, we're fine. It's I've said this to you before. This is you can play well in this league and lose games, and it's hard to find wins on the road. You got to compete. We had a 1-point lead at Virginia Tech and had a shot with our best player, Teron, in the corner, wide open 3. If he makes it, we're up 4 with 2 minutes to go, and the shot didn't go in. And we had a free throw with our best player in the last 30 seconds of the game to tie, and it didn't go in. I mean, some of that's basketball. Guys are going to make and miss shots, but you got to be resilient and get on to the next one. And we just got to get to the next play and get to the next game. This time it's Georgia Tech. Hopefully we'll play well. They're going to come in here with confidence off a nice win and a big, strong physical team. But our guys have had good attitudes. We got a couple days to kind of rest a little bit, which I think is good. I think the grind is we're well into it, and a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of sickness, a little bit of just being tired of everything, and you just kind of got to rally back, and that's what we're doing, and I think we'll play well on Saturday.
How would you evaluate yourself defensively? Statistically, you haven't been as good as you've been in the past. Part of that's probably
we're not as good individually. I mean, we don't have the size at guard that we've had, so there are some things that just naturally make it a little more difficult. There's some strength factors there where we can get beat. There's times like in the Notre Dame game, there were a couple times when they just shoot over top of us because of their size, and so we have to make some adjustments that way. I think our team has gotten better defensively throughout the course of the season. I think we've coached them better in games as we've kind of understood some of the issues we were having earlier in the year, and tried to do a few things to counteract that, if you will. But we consistently in that area, that's we can't play up and down defense, because we can score, but we're not as potent as some teams in our league, and if we just aren't guarding at a high level, it's going to be hard for us. It's Virginia Tech game, we guarded well and played pretty good defense in a majority of the possessions. But we're improving. We are able to score 80 points in certain games, and I think that's what good teams do. They can score 80 when they need to, and they can also win a game in the 50s.
Y'all obviously have a familiarity with Georgia Tech. What are you expecting to see tomorrow from those guys?
Be physical. One of the best rebounding teams in the league. They always are. They always have big, strong guys down low, and I mean, they're wide bodies. So when they put their body into you, most of the time they're moving you and you're not moving as much. So we got to do a good job with that. We've got to get back in transition. I think they get out in transition well and pitch the ball ahead to Marcus Georges-Hunt. And I think Adam Smith has really helped their team. He's a phenomenal shooter and a guy that is a runaway shooter. He can make shots running away from the basket with as quick a release as anybody in our league. And then we have to, offensively, we got to take care of the ball, and they're going to be disciplined. They're going to prepare for us very well with their defense, because they're familiar with us. And some of the things we're able to get against some teams, we probably won't be able to get as easily against them, because they are so familiar with us. And so we'll have to have a mix of being patient and running good offense and executing to create open shots, because they're a tough team to score against, especially when they're familiar with you.
Was there much talk among the older guys of it's always the case. You're in mid-February. It's the stretch where you want to make the tournament. You're hearing talk from the older guys about how it's crunch time, so to speak.
A little bit, yeah, but we've talked about that for a while. You know, the best thing we can do is not worry about the outside, you know, things like NCAA tournament talk and, you know, trying to finish in the top 4 and get buys to the ACC tournament and all those kinds of things. We have to continue to work on playing better basketball. We just have to be focused to what we can do individually and collectively as a team to play better basketball. And you know, this is the time of year where guys need to reflect a little bit on what they're doing well and make sure that they're emphasizing the things that they do well and maybe stay away from some things that, you know, haven't been as good for them this year, and just focus on what you can do to help our team be successful.
Y'all have had so much success against Georgia Tech in recent past. Does that even weigh into it from a confidence standpoint, or is it irrelevant?
Not really. I think, you know, every year is different. Every team is different. You know, I think Georgia Tech is a much better offensive team this year than they've been in the past. Both of us, at least last year, both of us struggled to score at times, and so they were physical games. And, you know, and then with us knowing each other so well, even when we did have a little more talent with KJ, you know, they would do a pretty good job, and it still wasn't easy to score all the time. And so, you know, we're going to have to play very well to win. It's, you know, they'll be a little more amped up than maybe some other times, and hopefully our guys will as well. And you know, we're expecting a great crowd. That should be fun, and just looking forward to getting back out there and hopefully playing well.